Hello everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Thank you so much for joining me again for another video. Today my friend Matt watches X-Men Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix was the last one. I think Disney and Fox had merged at that point, but it was still under the Fox banner. It's the last Fox X-Men movie that has been made or will ever be made since Marvel, or since Disney owns them now. I think had the lowest box office of any X-Men movie ever. I could be a little off on that. A lot of you guys probably didn't even see it. I saw it in theaters. I think Jeremy saw it as well. Jeremy's not with us today, unfortunately, but I did see it in theaters. I went in kind of open-minded. I thought it was okay. From what I remember, I thought it was very all right. Pastor, you haven't even seen it, which goes to show just how little people thought about this movie. Since you haven't seen it either, what are you thinking going into it?
This was one of the only movies, if not, I think the only movie in recent years that I let fans who had seen it before me really sway my decision. And it was also in a weird time because I have kids, so it's really hard for me to get to the theater at times. I don't know why I haven't seen it. I normally bring the movies for us to watch, you know, the copies here, and I didn't have this one. So this will be the first time for me watching it. I hope I can at least get through it as far as like paying attention to the story and not just get super discouraged. I don't really like who they picked to play Jean. I don't think she was ready for a role like that, no offense to her, but I'm looking forward to it because I haven't seen it yet. So I've never been in this position before.
I don't know if I mentioned in the Days of Future Past video or Apocalypse what I thought about Sansa Stark being Jean Grey. I don't really think that she's that great of an actress. Personally, I think she has kind of a very flat affect most of the time. If you like her, I don't mean any disrespect. That's just my feelings on her. I will say I don't think it's as bad as people project it to be. I think it's just very much like an okay film. My opinion might change watching it with you guys. I saw it in theaters, but I don't really remember a whole lot. I don't remember who I watched it with, but I definitely think that it has some moments. Jenna, X-Men has been your favorite series we've watched so far. You keep telling me how much you love it. What are you thinking going into Dark Phoenix, which is the last major X-Men movie? We're gonna do X-Men Origins Wolverine, the Wolverine and Logan, treat that as its own trilogy after this. But as far as the actual meat and potatoes of the X-Men, this is the end. What do you think?
I'm really excited going into this movie since it's the end of this series. I'm looking forward to that part. That's all I got.
And Matt, since X-Men is your favorite series we've done so far as well, what are you thinking going into Dark Phoenix?
I gotta tell you, I don't have high hopes at this point. I think the X-Men whole is kind of trash. I'm kidding. It's not all trash. Some of it's been good, but the earlier ones, I just get this feeling that they were much better than these later ones.
We talked a little bit how Days of Future Past kind of went back to the discrimination aspect of the X-Men, which is what they're allegorical for anyway, really. X-Men Apocalypse kind of went away with that and just focused more on them being like super powered people. I don't remember where this one kind of lies, but I think, especially for Jenna, if we can get back to, for her, the social issues and kind of what the purpose of the X-Men was,
yes.
I think that resonates better with you,
yep.
Resonates better with her, and I appreciate it a lot from that aspect, since that's what the X-Men are supposed to be anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, that's why I fell in love with the first X-Men. They did a lot of good, I think, and touching on certain things. I thought that's why I liked it.
All right, let's get into it. X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Hot mom out, please? Good lord.
I don't like the other doctors.
From an unaccredited university, yes.
You think you can fix me too?
No, you are not broken.
Oh, is she alive? What a freaking coincidence. It's like the 14th time that she's died.
Whatever happened up there made you stronger.
I thought I lost you today.
I know.
The audience did too for a brief moment.
But they knew better.
Did you hear what the kids are calling it? Phoenix. It's cool, right? No? Bird that rises from the dead?
I had to make adjustments to her mind when she was young.
What did you do to her, Charles?
I saved her. She's all desire, all rage, all pain.
It's so funny she would just push that kid over for no reason.
Dad?
Nope.
Focus on my voice. We're going to get through this together.
Oh! Wood spag went through her. Nobody has healing powers? Can we start with chest compressions?
She lives on through me and through the spirit of the X-Men.
And literally in another movie, I'm sure.
Is it true? Jean killed her?
Get this kid a sandwich. Egg.
This is where I first met Raven.
Crazy day, huh?
Not the little scotch can't fix.
This whole time we've been trying to protect these kids from the world when really we should have been protecting them from you. Whose blood is that? Whose blood is that?
I don't want to talk about it.
Did you hurt someone?
Please,
Answer the question.
Stop! We've got military.
Leave this place!
I need your help. I thought you protected mutants here.
I am protecting them. From you. I want you to help me find Jean. I have no reason to find her. She's dead. Jean killed her.
What you doing, man? I'm just watching anything else.
I can show you.
Where is Wolverine?
Good question.
Probably in the bar somewhere.
Oh shit.
He's gotta dust off his past.
Gotta put this dumbass helmet on.
You're always sorry, Charles. And there's always a speech. But nobody cares anymore. If you touch her, I will fucking kill you.
Oh!
What?
Wow.
They get one, I guess.
The girl dies. I know whose blood that was.
Walk to me.
Still up.
I traveled to the stars for a gift that you don't want. Then take it.
Protect my family.
Talk to the hand.
You want this power. You're gonna get it. Your emotions make you weak. My emotions make me strong.
She's gone.
No, she's not!
She's free.
Shut up, Xavier.
How's retirement treating you?
What are you doing here, Eric?
Just one game. For old time's sake.
Nobody noticed that was guy.
This is future Holden here, having to bring a sad message along at this point in the video. There was an issue with my microphone for like the first 20% of our discussion, where I give my input, Jenna gives her input, and it started going into Pastor. The audio isn't fixed until like halfway through Pastor discussing, so that's why I'm having to interject this part so the video is not just starting halfway into Pastor's opinions on the movie. I do this for a living. I swear I'm a professional, but I guess the mic wasn't properly plugged in, so sorry guys. As well. But we all do an overview of our thoughts near the end when we give our ratings. Anyways, back to the video, thanks.
Days of Future Past erased X3, so I said, why is it that they are learning about the Phoenix so young? Like Mystique dying, you know, Scott, not really, I mean, he's definitely romantically interested in her, but it wasn't anything like the first X-Men movies. And it's just because with this universe, we never get a Rebecca Romijn Mystique. She dies when she's really young. It goes well with the fact that in the comics, she's Nightcrawler's mother. So the fact that she dies young makes it to where she doesn't really need to be be around for that story arc to ever happen. Nightcrawler could be his own character. Because it's a comic book, it's easy for me to take it as just an alternate telling of the story. Another writer and artist got together and made their own X-Men story based off of the Dark Phoenix. You know, there's X-Men stories about everything. There's one where Archangel kills all the X-Men, and it's, you know, that one has a big fan base, but it's not canon, it's just a comic that you can read. With that in mind, that's why I think my X-Men, especially the old or the newer X-Men movies, I give them such generous scores, because on their own, they're okay. They might not be the best representation of the X-Men, but they're not the worst movies I've ever seen. And I'm gonna watch it again with like my wife, because she hasn't seen it yet either.
All right, Matt, what did you think about Dark Phoenix?
Oh, you caught me. I was just about to leave because this movie was so trash.
Wow, okay.
First of all, wearing Holden flip-flops. Just need to throw that out there. He didn't wear socks today. You're an animal. All right, this was the most message bankrupt X-Men movie we've seen. Apocalypse even beats this one. This one was just such little redeeming qualities about this.
You know, what's funny is that you're actually echoing more of the fan base than we are, because most of the fans did not like this movie, the ones that did see it. And I'm pretty generous on it, I feel like, and I think you were too.
I will extend an olive branch and say in the very beginning that I do appreciate him being like, you aren't broken. Love that. Having said that, it was so generic. It did not hit any marks. This felt like just drama the whole time. Like this classic, like, you don't know me, I'm struggling internally. Like, let's dust off the helmet. This has just been done so many times. This was nothing new, and it was just, had I never seen this, I'd have been totally fine with it. The dialogue, you're right, Pastor, was just so rough. The first words that she spoke, I was like, ugh.
Oh yeah, that opening monologue was pretty rough.
Like, you guys know how I feel about action. Like, I don't care, like, whatever. So if you're gonna throw on a bunch of action with all this alien from another planet that's not explained, as Jenna echoed, and it's just, I hate to be negative, I hate to be pessimistic, but this was just trash. Mystique dies, bullshit. Like, come on. And then I hate it. I hate how negative I feel towards it, because I like going in and being optimistic, but it was rough, man. And then her dying, but then you see the Phoenix in the background. We all know nobody ever dies in these movies. At the very end, to just top off this pile of shit, your emotions make you weak. No. My emotions make me strong. I felt nothing from that.
It's like your generic middle school girl Facebook post.
It's just...
My emotions make me strong. And emotions should make you strong. I'm not like an anti-feeling type of person, but I see what you're saying. Just there was no build up to that. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, you know.
You could take that mundane line and at least maybe said it previously in some fashion that could have brought it back up in the end, but you didn't make me feel that. You didn't make me believe that. It was just so like, let's just chuck this in the end. I hope this movie made a lot of money, because this felt like it was trying to be a cash grab.
Probably was. It didn't. It was I think it's the least performing X-Men movie to date. This came out right when Disney bought Fox Studios, so I believe it's the last official entry of the original X-Men stuff, and anything X-Men wise going forward will be in the MCU.
It felt so predictable, and you guys know me. I'm a moron. Like, if I can predict stuff, that shows you how dumbed down it really is. So, just awful.
I'm glad you liked it. So, Pastor, what would you rate Dark Phoenix?
I would rate Dark Phoenix 6.5. It's a movie that I am not super excited about. I did like enough of it to give it a passing score. It's really crazy though, because it kind of just abruptly ended. And I know that, like Holden said, this is the last movie that Fox had complete control over. You know, with coronavirus and everything holding up New Mutants, it kind of like changed hands right before it released. So Disney was able to go in and doctor it up, rumor has it, to make it more of their own thing, even though New Mutants would have been the last one to be a Fox property. So this one is the last one, and it kind of was a little anticlimactic. I had to kind of like digest it after the credits were rolling, like, okay, what did I just see? I was expecting to have things tied up. They kind of left it, you know, open-ended. It was very, you know, cliche as far as that goes. So a 6.5 I think is a very generous score. That definitely is going to change. I don't see it going higher. If it does change, it'll go lower. So a 6.5 is what I'd give it.
There was a lot of stuff I liked. I would probably put it on par with where I had First Class. And I know that some people are going to think that that's heresy, but it's just the way I feel after watching them. First Class was, I mentioned before, I felt like it was kind of cheaper. When I think of that movie, I think of like kids are like dancing on the ceilings and stuff, and you can tell they're on wires, and Mystique is like, I'm going to be Mystique and you're going to be Magneto, and I just didn't care, I guess, about that. This one is kind of the opposite. They went with like a lot of action, and they went with a lot of effects, and I think they did a lot of them well. So I kind of put them on the same playing field for different reasons. For me, this is probably about a 6.5, I would say, kind of around where Pastor's at. Jenna, what about you? What would you rate this movie?
So I liked this movie better than some of the last couple of X-Men movies, but I didn't love the movie. It was okay. I think the highest score that I gave the others was a 6.5, so I'll give this a 6.6. It wasn't great. I don't think I would, again, I wouldn't watch this in my free time, but I think it was certainly better than I anticipated, and it was a little bit better than the last couple of X-Men movies we watched.
And you, Matt, what would you rate this movie?
I've been sitting here trying to figure out, like, how could I raise this number up while trying to be optimistic, and, you know, like, the cinematography was pretty and whatnot. There was so much fight scene, and again, you know how I feel about that, and just being bankrupt of a message. And I kind of wonder, like, how is this different than another movie that spoke about the same message? And it's just tough for me to raise the number up. I mean, I give it like a 2.
All right, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. A lot of you have made sure to point out many times and in some aggressive ways that we skipped Wolverine. We know I accidentally skipped X-Men Origins, and I figured we would just watch these 4 because they're kind of their own story. We're gonna treat X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Wolverine, and Logan as sort of an unofficial Wolverine trilogy. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, helps my channel out a lot. Comment down below letting us know what you think of Dark Phoenix, what you think of all of our opinions, how right or how wrong you think we are. Consider subscribing if you wanna see more fun content like this. Consider also joining me on Patreon. It's a great way to get early access to select videos like this. Make sure to subscribe to Matt and Pastor. Jeremy cannot be with us, but subscribe to him as well. We appreciate you watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care.